This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional, and it is always recommended to hire a pest control pro in your area to perform any pest control in or outside your home. Pesticides can harm you and your loved ones. Anyone who is performing the information in this video is doing so at their own risk. If you decide to try the info provided in this video, please always check with the local laws in your area and read the labels of any product you use. The label is the law.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control. Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. Let's see here. What is this going on here? That's weird. I'm on the wrong account. I'm on the right account streaming, the wrong account for chat. Let's see if I get that fixed. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Y'all doing good today? Y'all ready for the weekend? I always ask the same questions because I feel like that's a good question to ask if you're first starting out. Hey, what you got planned for the weekend? Y'all gonna have a good time? What you doing? Good way to break the ice. Yes, I'm taking questions. Let's see here. Hey, Holly, how are you? Hey, Josh. Let's see. For some reason, it's logging me in with the wrong account in chat, and that has never happened before. That's so odd. Oh well. Either way, it doesn't matter. I can still see chat. That's what's important. So, it's always awkward the first few minutes when I live stream because I never really know what people want to talk about. I'm trying to get my microphone set up. I'm still kind of setting things up. Oh, no way. Did I get glue on my table? Oh, man. That sucks. I got super glue. I was fixing my son's sword. He has this little sword. And I put some super glue on it. Ended up super gluing my freaking table. I made this table. My wife's going to be mad. Oh, well. I'll fix it. Let's see. Jennifer Lego. Hey, how are you? How do I explain that the plug-in zappers don't work? So are you talking about like a bug zapper? Like for flies? Are you talking like those? Let's see. Or are you talking about these things? Is that what you're talking about, Jennifer? These don't work at all. These don't work like at all. As far as what you tell people, I mean, it says on here that I guess this is flies, rats, cockroaches, ants, mosquitoes, spiders, mice. These don't actually repel anything. They actually attract some things, especially cockroaches. I have pulled these open. In fact, I have a picture of one on my phone. Let me see if I can find it on my phone of roaches actually living in one. I mean, and you look right here, it's got a picture. I don't know if you can see it over my face right there, but this one right here, that's a picture of a cockroach right there. And that's absolutely not true. let me see if I can search. What are these things called? Sometimes you just do sonic. Let's see. Let's see how smart. Yeah, there we go. Like these things. These things right here. I got a picture of those on my phone because I did a video about them one time. But I don't have that. It's hard to find the pictures. The problem is I've got like 20,000 pictures, and the ones that have to do about pest control are typically in a pest control folder, but then I forget to put them in a folder, and so then they're hard to find. Like I've got, let me see if I can find it here. And Apple made their album awful. It's so bad. The photos are so bad now. It is so awful trying to use the photo app. But anyway, they don't work. That's plain and simple. They don't work. It's hard to explain to people that why they don't work. So the thing about, yeah, that's what they work. That's what they work for. They work for emptying wallets. Those sonic things work for emptying people's wallets. That's what they work for. But all right. So several colleges have done research on the effects of these low frequency sonic things on things like rats and mice. And they've proven they don't work at all on rodents. They do not work. In fact, the ones that do work are in order for them to work on them, they have to be such a strong sonic frequency that you wouldn't even want to be in the house at all, because it's miserable to be around. No one wants to be in the house. It's that awful. So they really don't work. And as far as bugs, I have found spiders living on them. They usually have a little light, and the light will attract bugs like spiders and stuff like that will start to build around them. I have found roaches living in them, because anything that plugs in a wall, roaches will live in. They don't work at all. It's just a scam. In fact, when they first came out with these things, there was a class action lawsuit against them, because what happened is they came out and they said, you can save money on pest control by buying these devices. They will save you money. They're all natural. And because that seems like that's the kick these days, is all natural, everything. Oh, it must be safe if it's all natural. But the truth is that they got a class action lawsuit against them because people weren't using pest control. They weren't using for things like cockroaches and stuff like that. And cockroaches can actually cause health problems. And so people were going after these companies, suing them, saying, wait a minute, you said this was going to take care of my bugs. I'm finding cockroaches living in them. And so then they changed their a lot of their reading, their wording and stuff like that to not get sued. So we sprayed Crossfire last Saturday. The second treatment, I'm scared that there could be a secret bedbug harborage somewhere, and they'll come out because it's getting warmer outside. Bedbugs don't care if it's warm outside. Bedbugs, hopefully they will come out and crawl in the chemical and die. Crossfire lasts once you spray it, it can last for up to 4 weeks. So you expect for them to crawl out and get it. In fact, a lot of people will ask me after treating with something, like after I treat their house, they're like, well, how long is this going to take to get them? Am I going to see any bugs? I'm not going to see any more bugs at all, am I? And the truth is, you will see bugs, because they have to crawl out and get in the chemical or they won't die. It's the same way with ants or roaches, or, if the bugs don't come out and crawl through the chemical, come out from where they're hiding and get in the chemical, they won't die. And they will. They'll crawl out and get in the chemical. They'll die. Holly says, I don't know if my treatments are working. No live bugs found. Dead ones only in electric baseboard heater. I found a lot of fecal matter behind the baseboards, but no live activity and nothing seen in the bed. Well, that sounds good news to me. I mean, that sounds good to me. If you're not finding bed bugs, what's the problem? I don't understand. You don't want to find bed bugs, right? If you find any at all, find dead ones. Sounds like you found dead ones behind electric baseboard. That's not bad. That's good. All right. A big misconception with people when it comes to pest control is they believe that when they spray a chemical, they're going to find dead bugs, because the bugs crawl through the pesticide and naturally they die. Why aren't you finding them? Well, why aren't you finding them when they're alive? So bugs hide from people. They hide from you in cracks and crevices and places you cannot find them. If a bug crawls out and gets into a pesticide, bites you, or maybe they doesn't bite you, maybe they're just wandering around, and then they go back to where they're hiding, well, they're still hiding, and then they die there. It's like when a mouse eats rat poison and then goes into a burrow in the ground. Well, the only way you know the mouse is dead is because it stops pooping all over your house, you know, because it's died outside somewhere, buried in the ground or in the wall or wherever, but you can't find it because it's dead in its burrow, or it's, dead somewhere you can't find it. And bugs are the same way. A lot of times when I treat for things like roaches and ants, and in fact, I had a house one time I treated for cockroaches, and they came in and they took all of the, they did a remodel in the bathroom, and they took all of the sheetrock that was in the bathroom out. Do you know how many dead roaches were in the wall after I had sprayed? I killed probably several thousand. I mean, it was like 2,000 or 3,000 roaches burrowed in the insulation. They were all dead. They had come out, got exposed to the chemical, and then died in the wall. Because, I mean, that's what you expect. You expect them to die wherever they're hiding, because it takes a while for a bug to die after exposure to a chemical. It doesn't kill it right away. It takes time. 3 treatments and still bites and blood on the sheets. I know we can't go off bites alone. But it's the same. Let me see. Sorry, I lost my. There we go. Sorry, my chat was scrolling. But 3 treatments and still bites on blood. 3 treatments. How often together? How far apart are your treatments? And Jennifer's right. They may not be they may not be bed bugs at all. Just because you're getting blood spots and stuff doesn't mean it's bed bugs. Let's see. Opal says, I'm aware of the 4-week treatment. However, I'm happy and satisfied that Crossfire is working like it's supposed to. After 30 days, I will use a second application of Crossfire. That sounds great. Let me see. What did you say first? I used my first application of Crossfire on March 2nd. It's been 11 days. I am seeing only a couple of bed bugs that were alive. I'm seeing many bed bugs every day. I see many dead bed bugs every day. You're helping conquer bed bugs. That's great. Cool. Great. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. That's what you expect to hear after a bed bug service when you do bed bug work, is especially if it's a heavily infested house, you usually do find dead ones. But if it's a mildly infested house where there's not that many bugs at all, you may not find any bed bugs. You may only have bites and blood stains because the bugs are still coming out. They're biting you at night, but they are retreating and going back to where they're hiding, and they're dying there. But it depends on how much exposure they're having to the chemical. Some people will apply the chemical, and the reason it doesn't work is because they're not applying it to the correct places. They're not putting it actually between them and the bugs, or they're giving an alternative route to the bed that the bed bugs are traveling in that you can't actually treat. For example, if you have a sheet or a blanket that drapes down into the floor, maybe at the foot of the bed, maybe your pillows smush between the headboard and the wall, and so then the bed bugs can travel up your pillows. You can't treat your pillows. You can't treat your sheets. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to launder that stuff. Take it, put it in the washing machine, and wash it. Like one example, and I use this example pretty frequent because I want everybody to hear this story, and not everybody tunes into every live stream on Thursdays. But I had a customer one time who the bed bugs were actually living on her comforter, and she hadn't laundered the comforter. And so every time she put the comforter back on the bed bugs would crawl off the comforter, bite her, and go back to the comforter because that's where they were living. They weren't actually living on the bed itself or the box spring or the base of the mattress or anything. They were living on her comforter. I didn't find this out until I went to her house, and she was sick one day, and I pulled the covers off myself, because normally my customers will remove their covers for me, because that's when I'm going to get exposed. I mean, that's bed bugs like to live in the covers. And she was sick, and I said, that's okay. I'll go in there. I'll take the covers off of the bed for you. And when I did, I found the bed bugs living on her comforter. And I was like, have you washed this? She's like, no, I don't ever wash my comforter. I said, well, have you washed it since I sprayed your house the first time? She's like, no, I don't think I ever have. So, but you got to wash your comforter too, even if it means taking it to the laundromat. Let's see. First 2 treatments were 2 weeks apart, and the last 30 days from there. So you've done really 2 treatments, because the second treatment doesn't count because that was within the limit of the crossfire anyway. So 2 months. So you've had 60 days of active treatment out in the house, and you're still getting bit and you're still having blood spots. So it's a possibility that if you're not finding actual signs of bed bugs, blood spots and bites, like I said, and you agree that, it's not necessarily a sign that there are bed bugs, but there are things that will bite you that will leave blood spots. Fleas can cause a person to bleed. Mosquitoes especially can cause a person to bleed. I don't expect them to be out in the wintertime though. But I have done flea work. This winter has been a flea winter. I've done flea work this winter. I actually did a flea job back in January, and I did another flea job in February. And that's, when it's in the 20s, and that's not normal, but it does happen. Could be fleas. It could be, anything really that bites you. Could be spiders that are biting you if you've got spider problems. And if you've got spider problems, crossfire probably won't kill them. Crossfire isn't really effective against arachnids. And so you would need to use something like Onslaught or, a similar chemical to that rather than crossfire, because crossfire is not for spiders. But, you could always just, I tell people that if they're going to do their own pest control, to do it at least once a month for 90 days with for bed bugs specifically, because that's the way I used to always do it. I used to always do bed bug work once every 60 days because, once every 30 days, once every 30 days for 90 days. That's the way I would do pest control. That's the way I always did it. I only started doing one-time onlys back maybe 6 years ago. And I still have to go back every now and then and do a second and maybe even a third treatment, depending on how severe the problem or where they're actually coming from. I heard by that, Jennifer. Hantavirus. She had the hantavirus. Gene Hackman's wife died from complications of the hantavirus, which kills you. It doesn't kill everyone who gets it, but it does kill most people who get it. And the people who survive from the hantavirus usually are permanently, they have permanent health problems because of it. Let's see. So in a small, mild infestation after 2 treatments, no signs of bed bugs is normal. Also, I only waited 2 weeks between sprayings. So now if you want to spray every 2 weeks, you can. But you're going to need to treat over a period of 90 days. So you're probably going to have to treat 6 times rather than 3 times. The problem is that the hatch cycle and how often bed bugs need to feed. Bed bugs don't feed every day. Like, you get up in the morning, you're like, man, I could get some breakfast, or maybe you skip breakfast, but you always eat at least once a day. Bed bugs don't eat every day. They eat about once every 3 to 5 days. So they don't need a blood meal very often. And if the eggs are laid, they don't need a blood meal at all for up to 10 days because that's when they hatch. But some bed bug eggs don't hatch on a 10-day cycle. Some bed bug eggs hatch 30 to 45 days. And that's not normal, but it does happen. So if you have a problem where the bed bug eggs have spread out further and they're not hatching as quickly, there are things that will inhibit the hatching of bed bug eggs, make them hatch slower. Temperatures, humidity levels, if they're not just right, you could get eggs lasting for, 3, 4, 5, even 7, 10 weeks. And if that's the case, you would need to treat more frequently. You would need to treat at least more than once. You'd have to treat at least more than once, maybe 2 or 3 times you'd have to treat. But that's just because of what your specific living circumstance. Most people don't have that problem. Most people don't It's a unique living situation. Like maybe your house is not as humid as a normal living space that's comfortable for a person to live in. Maybe your house is hotter. Maybe they're hatching quicker, or maybe they're hatching slower. And typically the ones that hatch slower take longer to get rid of. That's the same way it is with cockroaches. I tell everybody that gets like a German cockroach infestation, I tell them, I said, look, you want to treat for at least 90 days after you see the last cockroach. And the reason you do that is because most German cockroaches hatch on a 28-day cycle. But every now and then you'll have an egg that will last for 90 days and not die. And then it hatches. And then you've got a whole new outcropping of cockroaches. And there's no pesticide to kill them because you canceled when you saw your last roach. But you should have waited 90 days and then you would have been safe. So. Josh. Oh, you're talking about hantavirus. Sorry. Yeah, it's a pretty high death rate when you catch hantavirus. It's a pretty severe, it's very severe. At 40% death that's pretty high. Yeah, that's really high. So it's a serious disease. Jason, your education and information on bedbug activity, behavior, and survival has helped me understand how to get rid of them realistically and successfully. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate it. I wish I hadn't put super glue on my desk. I'm really upset about that. I use Nygaard on roaches. It stays down for a long time mixed in with Phantom. Phantom. I hate Phantom. Phantom it's a pretty good chemical for cockroaches. It's a pretty good chemical for ants. But man, that stuff separates and it turns into it clogs your hose and it clogs your nozzles and I hate it for that. I stopped using Phantom. I've used it every single time I've used it. I've gone in and killed cockroaches. I'm like, man, I love this stuff. It kills roaches. It's such a good chemical. And then it clogs my B&G tips and my hoses and it turns into gel and I hate it then. I'm like, man, I remember when I stopped buying this shit. I know why I don't buy it anymore. This stuff's garbage. I hate this stuff. So, but it's a good chemical, but man, it's nasty to deal with. It's almost like if you're going to have Phantom, you need to almost use a throwaway tank for it because you feel like throwing away your tank after using it. I use B&Gs. Well, I have it's a hand sprayer. I actually did a review on it on my channel. I don't know if I ever released the video. I need to go back through and see because I was sent a lot of stuff from Chapin and I made some videos on it and I don't think I've released them all. But the little teeny bottles, oops, I hit my mic. The little teeny things with the little hand pump sprayers, I would use that with Phantom because how often you go and do a roach clean out, it wouldn't be, I don't use a clean out. I don't think I'd use Phantom for a clean out, maybe a follow up. But anyway, let's set that right there. There we go. So, what do you think of my new office, Jennifer? You like my new office? I like it. I think it's pretty cool. You've been watching. I've been sending you're looking at my pictures and stuff I post. I like it. I'm really happy with it. Let's see. G said, we did the second treatment of Crossfire last Saturday. Should we wait 4 to 3 weeks and spray again unless we see activity? I would wait 3 weeks even if you see activity. I would. At least 3 weeks. So. I got this stuff behind me, but I don't think people can see it. Let me see. I want to show. See, I got my Bob Ross and I got some Amiibos because I like video games. I'm dropping my phone. I switched to my phone camera instead of my web camera. Does it have a weird refresh rate? Like, I'm seeing a flicker every now and then. Do y'all see that flicker on my camera? Let me know if you see a flicker. Every maybe 5 minutes or so, it flickers. So I got these amiibos back here. Let me show you. I like to show stuff. When I see streamers, I see that they've got stuff going on in the background. Like I've always had like my Alliance and my Horde pictures. I always hang those up. And then those are pictures of me when I was a little kid. I was at a fishing contest. And then up there is a little Mario that I made. And then over there is a Mario 30th anniversary Mario. And that's a, I don't know, Splatoon or whatever, amiibo. And then that's Bob Ross. So, and then I got some pictures. Like that's a picture Charlie, I think Charlie drew that picture. And then those are my licenses for pest control and stuff like that, because I'm supposed to keep those visible for people. Let's see. Holly says, how do you treat an electric baseboard heater? I think they're living in there underneath it. Just treat the areas they're going to be attracted to, like your beds and stuff. They'll come out of the heater. They'll die. So let's do a drawing with Jason. I haven't done a drawing with Jason in a very long time. Let's pull up paint. And let's show you what to do if you have a cluttered room, or if you have, let's see. All right. So my nose itches. So it's allergy season. I hate allergies. All right. So you've got a room. Let's go over clutter, because I mean, that really works the same with an electric heater. You can't spray an electric heater. You spray an electric heater and you could cause a fire. So your room is there. All right. There's your room. Simple box, easy to understand. All right, let's put it like this. Okay, so let's say your bed, now this isn't realistic, but let's just say that your bed is in the, how come? All right, your bed is in the middle of the room, or somewhat in the middle of the room. Boom, right there. And then you got a bedside table there. And let's say, let's do a circle. Do a circle. You got a lamp right there so your wife can read Court of Stars or something at night, if you're lucky. And then you put a baseboard heater like right there. Okay? Now, if you treat your bed like your mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, let's write that out. Okay? Mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, and let's see, baseboards. Okay? So those are the areas you've treated in the room. And let's say you haven't treated anywhere else at all. That's all. Those are the only places you've treated. Okay? So let's color the stuff that you've treated red. All right. So the bed. Okay. And the baseboard, which is basically that. That's it, right? Everything bed and then the baseboard. So let's say you have bed bugs. Let's make them blue. Bed bugs in your lamp. Bed bugs in your coffee table or nightside table, whatever. And bed bugs living in your heater. Okay? In fact, since it's a baseboard heater, you did not treat this baseboard right here. And there's bed bugs there too. Okay? Where are you? You are here. Well, that's really bad. Let me see. Let me go white. That'll probably show it better. All right, you're going to sleep here. All right, so how do the bed bugs get their meal? Let's say they're behind the baseboard heater, like you asked, okay? Well, baseboard heaters don't bleed. So they're not getting blood here. So what did they do? They go here. They crawl over this bed that's been treated to bite you. And then they go back. Or they might die under the bed or whatever. Or they might die behind the baseboard. The point is, the reason I like to recommend Crossfire is because it's a minimal effort type pesticide that still works really well. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to do an extensive amount of work to get rid of the bed bugs because they're naturally going to be drawn to this person right here sleeping in this bed. That's the only thing they're drawn to. They're not drawn to this table. The only reason they're living on the table is probably just to try to find a place to lay eggs. That's all they want. And that's all they want of the heater. That's all they want of the bedside table. They really honestly need to bite you. The females need to bite you to lay eggs, and the bed bugs want to bite you because that's their food source. So they're going to come to you eventually. Give it some time and be patient. They will come out. They will bite you. You do not have to spray the baseboard heater. You don't have to spray behind it. You don't have to spray the nightstand table. You don't have to spray the light or whatever. You don't have to treat those areas that you may not even be able to treat anyway, especially a baseboard heater or a light. They plug in the wall. They're electrical. I don't recommend spraying them because you're liable to cause an electric problem. You don't want to spray pesticide on a baseboard heater either because you don't know what happens when it's going to heat up and evaporate in the room. You don't know what's going to happen. You just don't do that. You treat the areas that you can get to. Like I said, the baseboards where they're not going to get overheated. They're not going to, and the beds and stuff. That's what it says on the label. Treat what it says on the label. That's all you need to treat. You don't need to go any more in depth than that. Don't overthink it. It's that easy. So, what do you mean you must have been good, Jennifer? What have I done now? What have I done? Let's see. Should you relax a bit about bed bugs knowing that you've already sprayed Crossfire? Yes, you should relax and take it easy. Not including okay, let me get these other questions first. That's a good question though. Angel Eyes said, I lived where the whole building was, let me see. Let me change my thing here. I lived where the whole Huddle building was bed bug infested. They sprayed constantly. Bed bugs crawling on people's paint elevator floors. Then came the cockroaches out of the bathtub. Let's see. Josh said, not include. Okay, I'll try to relax. Not including Crossfire and Alpine WSG. What's your top 5 favorite chemicals to use? I like brodifacoum for mice. I like Advion and Vendetta for baits for roaches. I like Niban granules, the little pelletized, like looks like sawdust kind of. I like that also for roaches and ants and slugs. Most people don't realize you can use it for slugs, but if you have a problem, I really like it because you can use it around your bait stations. Let's say you have your bait in a humid area. Not humid enough to rot your bait, but humid enough for slugs and snails. You can take Niban granules and put them around your bait station, and the slugs and snails will go for those and they'll die and they'll leave your bait alone for like mice and stuff. I like that. And I like granules. In fact, I think that for general pest control, especially in the warmer months, you need granules around the perimeter of a foundation. I think they're really beneficial. Of course, soil only. You don't put them on like asphalt or concrete, but they're really, really effective. I caved and scheduled a canine inspection for today. He came this morning, took 20 minutes, and the dog didn't alert at all to anything, not even double takes. He said he feels like I'm in the clear. That's probably true if they did a canine. They're really effective. I was told bed bugs cannot walk far. That's not true. That's not true at all. Bed bugs can walk. All right, so I had a customer one time who had a single wide trailer. Let's do another drawing with Jason. I want to do this. I want to show this. This might be for good content later anyway. File, new, don't save. All right, so I had a customer who had a single wide trailer. Single wide trailers are built like this. Okay, you go in the door somewhere around the middle, usually. Okay, there's your door to enter the trailer. This room is usually a great room with a sofa and a kitchen attached. Okay. And sometimes you'll have a bedroom on this side over here. Sometimes you'll have a bedroom over on this side over here, like a master bedroom. This trailer had the master was on this side right here. And so you had the kitchen and living room were all room. Now I'm going to try to draw this the best I can in what little space I've got. But her master bedroom was over here. That's the master bedroom. That's where she slept. Her daughter, who was a crackhead, she's a drug addict, strung out all the time. She was in the bedroom on the far end. So the way this worked is a hallway went down this side of the trailer. Okay. And then it ended at her bedroom. And then it also had a spare bedroom that went off the side like that. Okay. As like I said, this is the best I got. So there's a door here and there was a door here. And that's the way the trailer was set up. So her daughter would go and do drugs. Okay. This is actually how the bedrooms are set up like this. And her mother ended up kicking her out of the house because she wouldn't abide by the rules, and she was always strung out and in really, really bad shape. So her mother ended up kicking her out of the house. And what happened is this bed right here, this was ground zero. This is where the bed bugs were, is in that bedroom. Now, the length of a single wide trailer is pretty long. So people will tell you that bed bugs will not walk for a blood meal, but that is not true because these bed bugs went from this room all the way to this room. Down the hall, across the living room, across the kitchen, and into this woman's room over here. And she called me 3 months after her daughter had moved out because she didn't realize she had bed bugs for 3 months. When I went by, there were no more bed bugs. I mean, of course, there were signs. There was like poop stains and stuff like that. But there were no signs of bed bugs in this room at all. The only sign of bed bugs in her entire trailer, and this was after 3 months of being bed bug free. I mean, not bed bug free, but 3 months after her daughter had moved out, the bed bugs were in that room. Only. They weren't even on the sofas in the living room because the woman didn't really spend a lot of time watching TV. In fact, she had a TV mounted in her bedroom and she preferred to eat dinner and stuff in her bed. She'd go to bed and she'd eat a snack and she'd watch TV, and that's where she hung out. She didn't like to hang out in the rest of the house. It's where she hung out was in her bedroom. There were no bed bugs in the rest of the house, just her bedroom. So explain to me how people can say bed bugs don't walk far when they went all the way from this bedroom to this bedroom in a matter of just a couple months. So it's just not true. Bed bugs do travel for a meal. They will travel the entire length of a house. And so people say that, an apartment living, they're not going to go from one unit to the next. They will. They absolutely will. They'll travel through the wall. But actually, they've predominantly found that if, let's go back a few steps. All right, let's say the bed bugs are in this room and you're in an apartment. Now people, they will go through the walls like through an outlet, like this way. But they will also travel out the door and go in this door and look for, I didn't find any blood meal in there. There's nobody in there. So let's travel back out and go through this door and walk all the way over and go through this woman's door here, and then they'll bite you here. Bed bugs travel like humans do. They actually will walk a path that humans will walk. And so they will go through the walls and they will travel through the walls through outlets and stuff like that. But 80% of the problem comes right down the hall and right into your door. So, they absolutely will go from apartment to apartment, like some people claim they won't. But I think it's just stupidity. They just don't, they're ignorant. They don't understand that bed bugs will travel to get to you. Let's see. But if they were in the house, okay, let's see. Paper is saying a lot of stuff here. If they were in the house, they would be very deep in the frame where the dog couldn't sense. That's not true. Dogs will smell it. They'll smell, even if they're in the wall, a dog will trigger. I mean, all right. If dogs can't sniff through a piece of sheetrock, then how does a cadaver dog find a body that's buried 4 feet underground? They can. They can smell the bed bugs in the wall. If the bed bug dog said you don't have bed bugs, you don't have bed bugs. Isn't that good news? Isn't that what you want? I mean, you don't want bed bugs, do you? If you want bed bugs, I mean, that's weird. Truthfully, I think that's odd. Is it safe to go to a theater? Yeah, I go to theaters. I go to movie theaters. I was actually going to take my kids to the Minecraft movie when it comes out because, well, Minecraft's fun and they like Minecraft. So, yeah, you can go to the theater. You said you treat mice on a monthly service. How much do you charge per treatment? It depends on the job. Depends. The thing is, pricing is relative to the area you live in. So if you're trying to price a mouse job and you're trying to do mouse service, you have to look at the cost of your bait stations. You have to look at the cost of your bait. You have to look at how much time it's going to take you to do the job. How much time is it going to take you to go around and check every one of your bait stations every month? If it's a small job, like for just a residential house, maybe you only have 3 or 4 stations. It's not that big a deal. But if you've got a commercial account that's got 20 to 40 bait stations, you're going to be there for an hour checking all those bait stations, then you charge accordingly. So I don't have a set rate. I don't have a set pricing for most of anything I do, really. I watched your videos and showed management. They raised my rent to force me out. Paid 185 people moved out. Let's see. They bit my dog. They denied it. Oh, okay. I'd never bit a dog before. I don't know what that's like, but dogs usually bite me. What is that over there? Well, that's my other license. Yeah. I have 2 licenses. I have to have a business license and I have to have my pest control license, and both of them have to be displayed. Oh. I said, okay, Jennifer. I said, okay, so if you scroll up, I just saw where you said repeat your question. Okay, so if you scroll up and you said, yay, I must have been good. Heart face, cry, laughing face, star face. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Here, look. Look here. That's right. Repeat your question. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Okay. See? Yay. I must have been good. See? What's that mean? You're not here very often. I gotta pick you out. I gotta pick on Jennifer because she's my mod that is a great mod when she's here. Let's see. I don't have very many mods. Actually, the only mods I have in my channel is me and my wife and then Jennifer. Oh, you love drawing with Jason. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you do like that, don't you? Can you get rid of a groundhog under a deck? You can. Oh, yeah, bed bugs will bite your dog. They will. They typically bite people, though. They don't really bite other animals. If you're living there with your dog, they're going to pick you over the dog. What's your go-to for OHAs? I'm going to have to look up this acronym. Odorous house ants. Oh, yeah. Alpine. Alpine and Taurus. I don't use acronyms. I just say odorous house ants because they're a type of carpenter ant. Is my Nightbot not up today, Jennifer? I guess oh, yeah, Nightbot is a mod. Yeah, but he don't do nothing but advertise. In fact, my Nightbot ain't even open. Is he? Bot. Let me see. Where is he? I need to log into that and make sure he's running. YouTube. That one. That one. That one. Huh. That's weird. Join channel. That's odd. It logged out. That's so weird. Oh well, he's logged in now, hopefully. Hopefully he'll start working again. What's a good pesticide for silverfish? The main thing with silverfish is if you've got mulch around the house, you want to treat your mulch. Granules work really good for those. I just started seeing silverfish in my house. My general pest control for my house is Alpine WSG inside. What's it? Onslaught Fast Cap outside, and then bifenthrin granules around the perimeter. So I don't have mulch though. I have stone. I don't have mulch. I don't like mulch. Mulch is really bad for silverfish, roaches, termites, all kinds of stuff. Carpenter ants, lots of stuff lives in mulch. I don't have mulch. I just have stone around the house. Little river rocks, like about that big. Hi Jason. If I threw out the infested couch I got from Facebook Market and I haven't found in my bed, the guy my building sent today sprayed transport micron probably. Do you think I should still use Crossfire in 2 weeks? Only if you have bed bugs would you want to use Crossfire in 2 weeks. Angel Eye says, my daughter in Michigan has a groundhog. The kitty will not help remove it. I worry about my grandkids. The city, okay. No, the city won't remove groundhogs. That's not their job. The people that do groundhogs work for in-game. So typically in Virginia, it's the Department of In-Game Fisheries. People like trappers, they're the ones that are licensed to remove groundhogs. The city is only licensed to remove cats and dogs. So they can't do any other wildlife. They can only do cats and dogs. Some city workers will do like alligators and stuff. If you live down in Florida, maybe snakes, but you know, most city workers only do cats and dogs, and you have to call wildlife control for something else like that. Someone like I said, in Virginia, it's the Department of In-Game Fisheries. Someone who's licensed through them will actually take care of groundhogs. You may be able to find groundhog poison, but I haven't done groundhogs in a long time, so I don't really know what's available to the public right now. No, I do not use defense dust for roaches. D-dust. I don't use it for roaches. I use boric acid if I use dust at all. Do you rotate the granular around the outside? No. Back when they had diazinon granules, I would use diazinon in the summer and bifenthrin in the winter, but now it's just bifenthrin. That's what I use because you can't get diazinon or Durazban anymore. Durazban and diazinon were better. They were much better quality granules. They did a much better job, but you can't buy them anymore. They're not available. So. Sorry, I'm tired. I had to get up real early this morning. I had to deal with bed bugs and roaches. And then I had to go and do a bed bug job. So I did bed bugs. I did 2 bed bug jobs today. I did one first thing this morning, bed bugs and cockroaches. And then I went out this afternoon and did a bed bug job for a friend of mine. And then I had to go and inspect a church for rats, and I got to deal with those tomorrow. So I stayed real busy. I actually don't know if I'm going to be on much after an hour tonight because I'm exhausted and I got to get to bed. And I am really mad about this super glue on my desk. Jennifer, I got super glue on my desk. It's not a lot. It's just really aggravating me because I need to get it off of there. What do you think about Entice? I've never used it. Let me look at the active. I don't know exactly what's in it. Okay, Entice granules. Oh, they look like Niban. That's probably similar to Niban granules. It's perimeter bait. I use Niban granules. I've never used Entice, so I don't know. What are your ideas? Well, how do you think about it? What do you think? Have you used it? Let's see. You have the best pest control channel. Thank you for the info. Well, thank you for tuning in and hanging out. While you're here, shameless plug, you should get subscribed to the channel, or you should become a member. Members get perks like emotes in chat, and they also get access to videos as soon as I upload them. Now, I don't have any uploaded for Tuesday, not yet, but I'm working up an idea. I don't know. I get writer's block. Believe it or not, I have made so many videos about bugs. I mean, I think it's like 1,000. Let me see how many videos are on my channel. So if I go to my YouTube channel and I look, let's see. I go to YouTube Studio. Let's see, how many videos do I have? Content. Oh my goodness, how many do I have? I have, looks like 365 regular videos. Or is that, yeah, 365 regular videos. My shorts, I have 204 shorts. So that's like over 500. And then my live streams, I have backlogged 220. Now that's going to change because I have a second channel called Green Acres Live that, and I'll show it to you. Let me show you my second channel. So if you go to youtube.com/@greenacreslive, that's my second channel. This is where I upload all of my previous live streams. So far, I have backlogged all the way. Let's see. I have, I've got a few. It's about a year's worth plus what I've made so far this year. This is this is the new office right here. And this is one from the new office. So I've started uploading. Now, these are from the way the old office used to be. And then you can go all the way back to when I was even in the other room. And so this is my second channel. And the reason I'm doing this is because YouTube prefers you to keep your long form content like podcasts separate from your short form content like my regular videos about how to do this and how to do that. So what I'm doing is I do my live streams. I leave them up on my main channel for about a week. Then I will upload that to my second channel as an archive. So if you want to go and watch old videos of me chatting with people, answering questions live, then you can go and watch those old streams. That's the best way to get that old content, because that's what YouTube wants me to do. I would much rather have just the one channel, but it really hurts my channel when I put all this long form mixed in with my do-it-yourself stuff. So I recommend you go and subscribe to that channel. I think there's a link. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me post the link in chat for those interested. Actually, I'll just give you the link to this page right here. Let me copy that and I'll paste it in chat. That's actually, that now I'm logged in with the right person now. But yeah, that's the link to my second channel. Y'all should go get subscribed to that too. Anyway, let's see. When doing chores or something and when I'm home alone, I'm always scared that bed bugs will crawl after me. They won't do that. Bed bugs don't go looking for you unless you're asleep. Hi, I live in an attached condo, like an apartment building. Well, I saw a pest control person at someone's house in my building. I have seen some nymphs on glue traps. I have in my kitchen. What do I do? Nymphs, what kind of nymphs? You probably haven't had bed bugs in your kitchen. I doubt it's bed bugs. Maybe cockroaches? Sorry, I meant I found live ones in the couch and a baby crawling across my bed, but have not found any since then in my bed or any evidence of them in my bed. Do you think Crossfire is still necessary? Maybe not. Have you sprayed anything at all, Kira? Aaron says, are you allowed to treat the entire lawn with general pest certification, or is that under public health? It depends on what you're treating for. Are you in Virginia, Aaron? Jason says, how can one 100% confirm bugs are gone by themselves? Stop seeing bugs, stop getting bits, stop having bugs. I mean, that's the only way you can 100% guarantee that they're gone. Deborah says, I think I might have picked up bed bugs traveling. I have had a couple bites over the last month. They don't look like flea bites, more like puffy bites. Should I treat with Crossfire? Not unless you have found bed bugs. Don't treat. If you may have fleas. Everybody changes. Everybody has different reactions to bed bug bites. Everyone has different reactions to flea bites. Everyone has different reactions to spider bites. You need to find the bug and make sure you've actually got bed bugs before you start treating for bed bugs. Angel says roach nymphs. Oh, if you've got roach nymphs, you need to treat for those. Maryland doesn't have the same law as Virginia, so I don't know. The only law that I am, familiar with, because I practice pest control in Virginia, is Virginia law. So I can treat the entire lawn for somebody for, let's say, ants. Okay. If someone calls me and they say, hey, I've got a serious problem with ants all over my yard, then I can go out there and I can power spray and I can use granules and I can treat their whole yard. I can treat 1, 2, 3 acres. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm not crop dusting or doing aerial or something like that, I don't need anything other than the license I already have to do that. Now, I don't know what Maryland law is. Maryland's different than Virginia. They have different laws. They have different pesticides up there. They have different restrictions on pesticides than they do in Virginia, in Maryland. So, you need to look into Maryland law and find out if you can actually treat a yard or not. I don't know. I just don't know. I've never looked into it. I'm not really interested in doing pest control in Maryland. I'd rather move south, like into North Carolina or somewhere like that. I'm only about an hour from the border of North Carolina. So I would probably look into reciprocal down into North Carolina. I've inspected the headboard mattress, haven't seen anything I could find. Well, that's great. That sounds like good news to me. How does a roach nymph look? It depends on the type of roach. You've got German cockroaches. Let's look. Let me show you what they look like. Okay. Let's go to here. I'll show you what they look like. German roach nymph. All right. So this is a picture of German cockroaches. Okay. This right here is a baby. That's a nymph. A nymph just means underdeveloped roach. It's not fully developed yet. This is also a nymph right here. This little spot right here. This is really small. Let me copy this image. Let me paste it over into here. And let's blow it up. All right. This is better. So this is a nymph here, but this is also a nymph here. This is a nymph. And these are, this is a male. This is a female. This is wings. This is a male here. This is a female. She's got an egg sac on her. These are eggs. These are German cockroaches. This is what German cockroaches look like. So if you have German cockroaches, that's what they look like. So and this, you want to kill as many of these as you can. This right here, if you find a roach with this on it, that's about anywhere from 20 to 50 babies in that little egg sac. You need to make sure you crush that egg sac and kill that. It's not enough to kill this female because these eggs right here, even if you kill the female that's carrying them, they can still be viable. So you need to crush that egg sac if you find them. As many as you find, you need to crush those. But the babies look quite different than the adults, mainly because the adults have grown wings and they cover these black spots. Like you see these little black racing stripes down their back. All German roaches have those. These are just covered with wings. So they grow wings that cover up those black stripes. So that's German roaches. That's what they look like. In fact, the bug job I did today, the bed bug job I did this morning, the guy from a competitor actually found a nymph, one of these, in a spider web, claimed the woman had bed bugs based on that. Now, she had bed bugs. She actually did have bed bugs. I found bed bugs, but that's a German roach. And this guy's supposed to be a professional coming into a woman's house saying, oh, yeah, that's a bed bug right there, but that's not a bed bug. That's a cockroach. So, but anyway, I appreciate everybody coming tonight. Y'all have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and see you next week. I got to get off of here, and get some sleep because I got a long trip tomorrow. I got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of rats I got to kill. So I appreciate everybody coming out, and hopefully you guys sleep well, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. All right. Let me go ahead and find a song to play. Where is my song?